going on, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be discussing episode 2 of The Ultimate Fighter between Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. This episode was absolutely atrocious. It was so fucking boring. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I pretty much tuned out when they were doing their little backstory shits. I really couldn't care less about the backstories of these fighters. Am I fucking mean and rude? Yes, I am. I understand. You know, these guys have families, but I want action. I mean, I watched The Ultimate Fighter, and I watched the Brian Ortega and Volkanovski Ultimate Fighter, and they did the same thing where they had the backstories, but like, I just listen. It kills the episode for me, man. And it's like they give like 5 minutes each to each person, and that's 10 minutes of my time that I'm literally just sitting on my phone, just looking at Twitter and looking at social media and anything else but the damn fucking television. They need to cut that out completely. I don't know what the hell you fill that with, that time. I mean, shit, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? I'd rather them just put a quick, you know, UFC fight or something like that. You know, a fight that only lasted like 3 minutes or some shit. I'd rather them do that than the backstory. I'm really being fucking honest with you. Like, I couldn't fucking care less. I couldn't care less. And it's not just that. I mean, there's nothing happened between Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor. Like, nothing happened. Like, there was no back and forth between them this episode. It was mostly just, you know, a fight in the beginning. Got called off because of some injury or fucking, like, this dude had like a herp on his face, and they had to call off the fight. I think it was, who the hell was their name? Trevor and Timur. Trevor, I believe, was on Team Conor, and then Timur was on Team Michael Chandler. Then that fight got called off. Okay? And, you know, they were talking about, oh, you know, they already, like, made weights, and do they have to make weight again? And Dana White obviously said, no, they don't have to make weight again. They might do a catchweight fight for that fight. Cool, whatever. I mean, it doesn't really fucking matter, right? I mean, it matters to them because obviously that hurts them, but to me, I guess it just gave us a little bit of drama in the beginning of the episode, but I really don't care. We're here because obviously Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, that's what we really are here for. Those are the two stars of the show, and nothing happened between them. I'm not saying that they have to fucking have hand-to-hand combat right now. I'm not saying that. We're gonna see a fight later this year. But fuck, man, like, this shit was ass. This, like, they gotta find ways to make these episodes better. You know what I mean? They can't, like, these backstory things, I understand. They're gonna have to do it because they did it for the, you know, obviously the first 2 guys in the first episode, and then these 2 guys in this episode. You know, they're going to have to do it for everybody. And I feel like, I'm assuming they're doing this for every single Ultimate Fighter season. You know, but listen, it really, really pains me to say this. I couldn't give less of a fuck. I really don't care. Like, there has to be other ways that you can fill that time with something intriguing, at least. You know what I mean? Some drama. Like, they had a little bit of drama in the beginning of the episode with Roosevelt Roberts and this other guy, you know, where for some reason Roosevelt Roberts, you know, didn't like this guy because, you know, this guy was just talking to, you know, obviously the veteran team or whatever, and he was on Team Conor, and Roosevelt Roberts obviously had an issue with this guy. He fucking said, oh, I don't like you, bro. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? But I mean, at least it's something entertaining. Listen, negativity sells. So I'm 100% down for all the fucking negativity that's going to be happening, bro. I really, that's what makes The Ultimate Fighter so great. In the past, you know, when you had the Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber Ultimate Fighter season, that was fantastic because it was always back and forth banter between Uriah Faber and Conor. And then you obviously had, you know, with TJ Dillashaw, and you had, you know, just so many great moments from that season. And this season, I mean, I understand it's just the beginning, and we probably see a lot more things happen, especially with the shove happening soon at some point. But right now, it's just like, fuck, man, like, I don't give a fuck right now. But at least we got something with Roosevelt Roberts and the other guy. I forgot his name. They said his name, and I forgot it. I didn't write it down in time, so Anyway, but that was pretty intriguing, I guess. Let's talk about the fights. Mando Gutierrez versus Cody Gibson. Mando Gutierrez, we knew that his ass was going to lose because they literally spoiled it in the last episode. We knew that he was going to lose to a flying fucking knee. So, obviously the UFC and ESPN wanted us to watch this week's episode and try and get us to watch somehow, right? Because obviously the ratings, they want to get more ratings, but they spoiled the fucking fight. They spoiled the fight. Like, we knew that Mando was going to fucking lose. Like, if you watched last week's episode and you saw what happened in the end, they showed pretty much what happened. And poor Mando, I guess, poor Mando, he lost, but shit, we got spoiled. What the fuck? Anyway, a little bit of backstory for Mando is that he has 7 first-round finishes. And he fought Raul Rosas on a Dana White contender. Raul Rosas Jr., who is like the young guy who's he's a pretty ugly looking guy. I'm gonna just leave it like that. He's a pretty fucking ugly looking guy, right? He was like 17 or 18 years old or some bullshit like that. And he lost to him in the Dana White's Contender Series, I believe. So we got a little bit of backstory with him. And Cody Gibson, that motherfucker's been fighting for a while. He's 19-8. And he fought Aljamain Sterling in 2014. That was pretty fucking interesting. Aljamain Sterling didn't have his fucking hair or whatever the fuck. So he fought a young Aljamain Sterling and lost. And I believe he fought 2 more times. And I think he's like 1-2 in the UFC. And then I guess they cut him after his second loss. But yeah, he gets the victory. First round, flying knee. I predicted that he will win because they literally told us that he will win, pretty much, with that clip. And yeah, he wins, and it looks like he's going to be moving on. So shout out to Cody Gibson. Conor McGregor's team is now down 0-2 against Team Chandler. But we're always going to see. I think it's going to be pretty even once week after week after week. We'll see what happens with the next upcoming episodes. Let's see if Team Conor next week can actually win, because they didn't show who was going to win in this fight. They kind of showed some clips of the fight, but they didn't really spoil what was going to happen. So hey, at least we're kind of clueless on that, right? But yeah, Cody Gibson wins. Conor got a haircut. That was whatever, right? Conor was hanging out with pretty much all the guys who were on The Ultimate Fighter, and I want to say this, by the way. Both Conor and Michael Chandler are great coaches. I gotta say this. Michael Chandler seems like a more personal like he likes to really get to know the fighters, that is on his team. He was talking to, I believe, Cody Gibson, talking about how he was a foster kid or something like that. And obviously when you see them training and stuff like that, like, obviously, how much Michael Chandler cares. Like, he seems like a guy that will give it his all in anything he does. And when it comes to coaching, he's been great. Obviously, like, you can just tell the passion with Michael Chandler and with Conor too. Conor has a lot of passion, especially with somebody who doesn't even need to do the show, really. Like, he doesn't need to do The Ultimate Fighter. Like, we got to put things into perspective. Conor McGregor can literally just fight Michael Chandler and pretty much disregard The Ultimate Fighter. This man, I gotta give him some credit. For somebody who is completely fucking rich, he is in love with the sport, and he has so much love for the sport and love for these fighters too. He looks like he's training with them and stuff like that. We saw a lot of footage of that, and that's pretty intriguing. I like the training footage and stuff, because you kind of see what inside the mind of Conor, what he's thinking. They asked him, like, what are your thoughts before a fight, and he kind of says that your brain is all over the place. Which I can probably understand. Like, before you're gonna fight somebody, you're probably, the anxiety is high, you're nervous as fuck, and shit like that. But yeah, I gotta say that I wanted to chip that in there as well. And yeah, real quick, I'm gonna talk about the ratings, and I'm gonna let y'all go. The ratings were about 250,000 for last week. This week is definitely gonna plummet a good fucking amount. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm predicting from like 150,000 to 200,000, or maybe it can go a little over 200,000, but it ain't gonna get over 250,000. Listen, let me just tell you that, okay? And I don't even think episode 3 gonna do that well either. Let's just be fucking honest. But a lot of people are really taking the ratings seriously. I'm just saying it because, you know, I'm just predicting what the ratings will be. But the ratings really don't fucking matter. Like, people are going to tune in. And The Ultimate Fighter is usually mostly for the hardcore audience more than casuals. You know what I mean? The casuals are going to tune into clips on Twitter and fucking YouTube and shit like that of Conor McGregor, you know, shoving Michael Chandler. That's going to probably get millions of views, but probably the episode itself is going to get like 170,000 viewers. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, ESPN wants ratings and the UFC wants ratings, but like, that's not the end all be all. Plus, you also have ESPN Plus is showing The Ultimate Fighter as well, so you probably got to take those numbers into account too. I don't know how many people are watching The Ultimate Fighter on ESPN Plus, but I'm guessing it's a decent amount. I'm guessing it's over 20,000 people, maybe even more than that. Who knows? Because not a lot of people have fucking cable. You know what I mean? I don't have fucking cable. I watch this shit through ESPN Plus. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, cable, I mean, bro, cable is long gone for me. Like, what the hell? Like, who cares? But people are like, oh, like, I saw Jesse on Fire's video. By the way, shout out to Jesse on Fire as well. He talked about, you know, obviously, you know, just because of the ratings, the fight is not going to happen between Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor. That is completely ridiculous. This fight is happening. And the only way that it's not happening is any injuries or anything like that. So, what the fuck? Like, this fight is obviously going to happen no matter what. Like, what do you think the ratings or, like, how many people were watching Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena? So, did y'all even know that was last year's Ultimate Fighter? Yeah, you probably didn't. So, like, what the hell? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you guys tune into episode 3 for next week. Peace out.